Welcome back then. Let's take a look at how the markets are performing. It certainly has been an interesting one across the board, particularly out in Asia with a mixed picture at the close of trade there. The Shanghai Composite being the only one headed off into some negative territory there, ever so slightly in some negative territory. The Hang Seng and Nikkei, though, managing more than 1% of gain, so great fortunes for some, heavy losses for others, unfortunately. Positivity, though, when we take a look at the European market, as all three indices went higher in this lunchtime trading picture. Even the DAX out in Germany going up more than 2.6%, so a good picture there. That has brought some positivity even to the local index, seemingly some gains coming through to the market, 1 2/3% higher there at 54,465 points for the JSE All Share. In terms of the sectors that have done well, certainly the financials, which have been picked up by the banking counters, of course, those have fallen off quite prodigiously. It's more than 4.5% weaker than for the banking shares, while resources also up 1.7% nearly, and that is on the back of some good numbers then for gold mining and platinum shares. 3.25% to the good on that front, so some trading in the black there, certainly helping the market picture. Industrials, well, that 1% uptick certainly won't hurt the market. In fact, it'll do all the world of good as the JSE continues its rise today. In terms of companies that have certainly gone higher, Capital and Counties, Investec as well, all going up today. Investec going up 6.8% at this point in time. In terms of negativity, Ital Tile, one of the big ones to have gone down there, 12.22 a share. It's gone down more than 4%, with RMB Holdings as well, dipping down more than 2% over there. Onto the commodities board then, we seem to have Brent crude ticking up ever so slightly higher, but look, not much to really write home about. More than $42 a barrel there, with platinum price going up 1.5%. Still not enough though to get it past that $900 a fine ounce mark and beyond. At some point we even thought it might hit $1,000 an ounce, so things not necessarily working out as they will. Down goes the gold price though, $1,856 a fine ounce there. Some strength for the local currency, but not enough though. Still above 17 Rand is where we sit, 1708 at present. Heavy weakness, of course, as we head into tomorrow's labor numbers as well. The unemployment rate, they expected to climb up to 34.8%, according to a Bloomberg poll that is of 9 economists there. The median estimate is for a rate to jump to 34.8% for South Africa's unemployment, but some have even predicted as much as 50% for that number. So it could get absolutely worse. Pretty flat stance for the rand against the euro at 19 Rand 91. More than 1% weakness then for the local currency against the British pound, 22 Rand and 3 cents. On this Monday afternoon, Michael Treherne joins us then. He's from Vestact and he joins us on the line. Michael, thank you so much for the time. The market begins to pick up after what has been a horrible last week. I think it was around 7 days out of 8 that we saw negativity. Perhaps a bounce back, or is this just temporary?
Yes, Arabile, great to see green on the screen for this Monday, and this is as we come to a close to the third quarter. Can you believe it? This is on the back of, like you say, a few bad days in a row, and it's all culminated in roughly 3 weeks, actually 4 weeks of losses. So this is a good start to the week. Hopefully it continues. As you were saying earlier, the presidential debate in the U.S., that happens tomorrow. And I suspect that whatever gets said there might drive sentiment on markets for the rest of the week. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, that sentiment then has for now turned slightly positive. I suppose many questions will be asked, and the volatility in the market. Could that debate, it is the first one and usually has the highest ratings, the highest views, and probably might be the most significant, considering that it is the first impression that many of these, or both gentlemen, will have to make to their public constituencies as well. Do you think that there could be a great sense of volatility from the market because of that debate, depending on which way it goes?
I do think there will be some volatility, during these debates. Also, when the candidates start to lay stakes in where they lay markers down for where they're going to campaign, and what issues will be central to what they're going to run on towards the end of the month and the end of October. It will be interesting to see what happens. You would say that Trump is probably the better debater out of the two candidates. So let's see how the polls change, and then depending on which candidate is more favored, there's certain stocks or sectors that are seen to be doing better. So expect volatility, but presidents come and go, and this is all part of the norm for stock markets. If you're a long-term investor, just keep your head down, let the bullets fly over and just enjoy reality TV at its best, I suppose.
Yeah, look, head down at its best, that's for sure as well, with that reality TV saga. The markets themselves will certainly also, and that particularly locally, will look towards the jobs numbers expected out tomorrow from Stats SA. How big a fall can we possibly expect from that, and the impact thereof then on things like the local currency, which is well above 17 Rand and is bound to get a little more nervous as we head towards that number, surely?
Sure. Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, our jobs data is normally ugly to read at the best of times, but with COVID, it's going to be even worse. Like you were saying earlier, there's a range of 34% to 50% of the different forecasts that people are putting in. It will be quite a volatile figure because of what you're seeing as once-off. So it'll be interesting to see actually where we're sitting next year this time, I suppose. But in the US, you see a bad jobs number, and it means that their government will spend more money to prop up the economy. South Africa doesn't have that luxury. So a bad jobs number is bad. It just means there's less people employed, and our government's reached a point where there's not much more spending that it can do, and it's going to get to a point where it's going to have to start going overseas for a lot of the money that we're borrowing. And that's not good news for the Rand. And as you say, the Rand is the weakest out of major emerging market currencies over the last week. And that's why we're trading above 17 at the moment.
Yeah. Quite interestingly enough, you make note of just how bad it could actually push things like the Rand and such as well. And even the talk that the president had with Nedlac not so long ago, before the announcement that South Africa would go to level 1 of the nationwide alert level lockdown there, still nothing coming in terms of the economic plan on that front. How important is it that we actually do get some sort of way forward from here? Of course, implementation being key, but at the same time, why has it not come as yet?
Yeah, Billy, I think South Africans want action now. We're tired of talk. I think there's been far too much talk over the years. I mean, if you just have a look at all our different development plans we've had since '94 and their lack of implementation, National Development Plan being the latest one, that's been more talk than any action. So I can't say I'm overly surprised. But let's hope, for the sake of the economy and for jobs, that things happen and that the right people are in the right position. Part of the problem with governments is they're just generally bureaucratic and they're slow to move. And as a result, it's on entrepreneurs, it's on people themselves to do something. So I think as South Africans, we need to put our hands up and do what we can to help the economy and to help those around us, and be less reliant on government and have lower expectations.
All right, we'll see how things fare there. Michael, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for it this Monday afternoon then here on Point. Michael Treherne is from Vestact Asset Management, helping us unpack that market picture. We're going to take a short ad break then. We still have a little bit more with regards to South Africa's economic picture. The negativity remains, and yet President Cyril Ramaphosa continues to say we're making some headway, but not economically. Well, let's unpack all of that right after this.